1180 welcomes you to the Seniors Rock Show, presented by Century Benefits Group, Medicare and Employee Benefits Advisors. The Seniors Rock Show is a lively weekly discussion shining a bright light on aging with fun, entertaining, and important info for all adults. Join in with your comments or questions. Call 222-1180 or 1-800-295-1180. Now, live from the News Radio Wham 1180 studios in downtown Rochester, here's your host, Joanna Palvino.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the show. I am happy that you're here, and I hope if it's your first time, you'll stay with us for the next hour, because joining me is co-host, estate planning attorney Mike Robinson of the Law Office of Michael Robinson, and also Mike King of Century Benefits Group. And then after the news break later, we'll have Dr. Laura Petrescu of Athena Direct Primary Care and Lifestyle Medicine. Lots of great stuff. And we are live, so feel free to join us, and you can call anytime if you have questions or comments. 585-222-1180 is the number, or I guess if you're out of town, it's 1-800-295-1180. So feel free to join us and get your answers to questions, or maybe even, comments, whatever you want to say. And you could do that anytime, by the way, 24/7 at seniorsrockradio.com. There's a comment page that'll come right to us. You can give us any kind of comments at that point or questions for future shows. So feel free to do that anytime. And we learn a lot of things here on this show, Mike, and I know you love learning. So we're going to do that this hour again. We're going to have some fun. And first, we'll just ask you, Mike Robinson, how are you?
I'm doing well, Joanna. Happy Saturday.
Happy Saturday.
Bit of a dreary start, but it looks like it might perk up for the rest of the day. So, speaking of learning things, I wanted to talk a little bit today about some non-legal aspects of estate planning and just the things that people can do. Again, they're not legal in nature, but things that you can do to really ease your family's burden when you become incapacitated and ultimately when you pass away. And one of those things is to make your funeral arrangements and prepay the funeral. That, I can tell you, takes a huge burden off of the family, both an emotional burden and a financial burden. In fact, oftentimes it can lead to greater expense, but also it just really takes away that task when the family would rather just be attending to grieving the loss of their loved one. So prepaying your funeral, I think, is a great idea. I can tell you that when I meet with folks after they have lost a parent, typically, it's just a much smoother process for them. Also, along those lines, consider executing something called an appointment of agent to control disposition of remains. Kind of an imposing title, but it's a very simple form that's available through the Department of Health, where you can legally authorize someone to make decisions concerning how will your remains be handled, whether you want cremation, whether you want traditional burial with embalming, maybe you green options, whatever. That can be especially important in a family where you maybe have multiple children who have different ideas about what should happen with mom or dad. So again, just a way to take away opportunities for arguments.
Mike, what was that again, the form?
So it's called Appointment of Agent to Control Disposition of Remains, which is a mouthful, but it's available. You can go online, search the Department of Health website. It's actually pretty easy to find.
Good.
Another thing that is extremely helpful to your family is to consolidate your accounts. I cannot tell you, Joanna, how many times we'll meet with a family, someone has passed away, and there are, several bank accounts, maybe at the same bank, maybe at different banks, people owning individual stocks, maybe having various mutual fund accounts. there's almost never any reason to have all of those separate accounts, and it really is a hassle when someone passes or becomes incapacitated and the family is having to scramble to deal with all these different
Yeah.
institutions, or even again multiple accounts at one institution. So to
Not
the
to mention, I'm going to jump in, and not to mention all the passwords and all of the login information for all of the accounts. And if you don't have that in one place, that's a nightmare.
Thank you. You were looking over my shoulder because that
Oh,
was the
sorry.
next thing I was going to say is yes, we all have online accounts these days, and not just financial accounts, but social media accounts. People I know have accounts where they store photographs, family photos, that sort of thing. Very important that that your family know usernames and passwords, what accounts that you do have, so that they can be dealt with appropriately.
Hmm.
And then again, with the financial information, same thing. Even if it's not online, make sure that somebody you trust, typically your executor, successor, trustee, power of attorney agent, that you keep a good organized file system. You let them know where to find that information, because once again, that takes a lot of stress away. And honestly, it typically can also reduce the expense that otherwise would be incurred in administering someone's estate at that time. Another thing is just clean out the junk, and we all have junk. So that's, where none of us
Yeah.
are immune from this one. But
Purge.
again, there's just so much that we hang on to for, pretty much no reason. And somebody's got to deal with that at some point. And once again, if we don't deal with it now, somebody's going to have to deal with it in a hurry, at a time when they're dealing with a lot of emotions because of losing the loved one. So, to the extent that you can clean out the barn, clean out the garage, the basement, all those things that you think somebody is going to want after you're gone, the reality is probably nobody is going to want them.
They don't.
So,
I know this.
yeah,
Mhm.
so that's another very helpful thing you can do for the family. So I just wanted to pass that on. I mean, we talk a lot about the legal and financial aspects of estate planning, and of course they're important. But these are, relatively simple, non-legal steps that people can take to really ease the family's burden when there is that death or incapacity.
Wow, great stuff. That is terrific. And that's coming from an estate planning attorney, folks. So it's not all about the law. It's about, common sense things too. And as you said, non-legal. And I'm looking at Pam and I'm looking at Mike King over there. And what do you think? And you want to add anyone to those things about being prepared? Oh, I can't hear you, Mike. Put your mic on.
It's also important to have I have a booklet myself that I was able to get online, which was able to list all of my assets, all of my contacts. It's all in one place, and I have a binder that I keep in the house that if they need to find all this stuff, it's in one place. At least they know where to look for it. So
Yeah.
that's really helpful to have, I think.
Terrific. And to let someone know where it is probably a good idea too. That's right. My girlfriend, I have a friend who showed me probably 2 summers ago. She said, "Come here, I want to show you something." And she showed me, she lives alone, and she showed me this book that she had, and it was totally detailed. And I was really impressed. And that is a wonderful gift, as you said, Mike, to leave to someone. Pam, have you even started thinking about these things yet?
Uh, a little bit. I'm in my mid 30s now, but I haven't really acted on it yet. So it's definitely good advice to get started there. Never too young.
Yeah, and keep it organized now, and then you won't have to go back, in a couple years and figure out where everything is and try to organize it. So you got a heads up there, girl.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And
And
Mike,
not
thank
enough
you.
time to have collected all of that junk.
That's right. That's right. But I have a problem with like the emotional tie to things, and again, like I have to keep remembering if I'm gone and someone looks at this, are they going to care? Is it just going to go in the garbage? Because you know what? I'd rather give it to someone who might use it now, give it to the volunteers or, Salvation Army or something. And then maybe someone else will use it. Right. Because I get attached to things emotionally. It's so silly, but it does happen.
Yeah,
So,
we all do. That's
yeah.
where the Buddhist approach comes in handy, right? Let it go.
Let it go. Let it go. Another Great piece of advice, Michael Robinson. Thank you. And I love learning on the show. I don't know about you guys, but it seems like, little things creep in that I didn't think about, or like, we said to Pam, you're getting a heads up here. And sometimes it takes people years to figure this stuff out. So if you're listening, I hope those tips help. And we're going to have some other things coming up in the next few weeks that I'm really excited about. I wanted to welcome Ollie at RIT. And if you don't know what that is, it's OSHER, and that is the Lifelong Learning Institute. They're going to be coming on, and they've got some terrific programs. And we are going to kick off this partnership on April 26th. That's 2 weeks away. We're going to do a live remote broadcast at the Imagine RIT event, and that's at the Gordon Field House. So that's going to be fun. If you're going to be out there, folks, stop in and say hi to us. And Pam will be doing her magic from up in the tower there, and we'll be remote out at the Gordon Field House on 426, and that's our regular time from 11 till 12. We'll be live. Hope you'll stop out and say hello and enjoy a fantastic event. I have not been there, but I heard it's amazing. So RIT is an impressive place. There's
Looking
that
forward
music.
to it. All
Yeah.
right. Well, folks, hang on, because when we come back after the break, we'll talk about how you can safely communicate with Medicare. Next on Seniors Rock Radio and News Radio Wham 1180.
Wall pirates, yes, they rob by, sold into the merchant ships. Minutes after they took I from the bottomless pit, but my
And welcome back to Seniors Rock Radio. Century Benefits Group offers Medicare solutions, and they are an independent insurance firm specializing in senior insurance solutions, and they're able to offer dozens of different insurance carrier plans. They learn your unique needs, and then they'll shop all of their carrier partners' plans to offer you a solution that fits your needs and budget. There's no fee for their service, and anyone can get a free quote or insurance consultation by calling Century Benefits Group, and they are celebrating 25 years. So, Mike King, welcome and happy anniversary.
Thank you very much. Our phone number to our office, in case you need to call us, is 224-8138. We're located right here in Brighton, so it's easy to contact us. We're right across from Monroe Community College. So what I want to talk about today is, if any of you have tried to contact Social Security, it's very difficult now to get through to somebody, okay? And by the way, just so you know, the Medicare program is actually under the Social Security Administration. People don't realize that, but it's under the Social Security Administration, and it's all one together. So when you contact Social Security, you can call them or contact them with Medicare questions. But let me make sure you have your pencil handy. I'm going to give you some important phone numbers and websites that you can use if you need to contact Social Security or Medicare for various questions or help. As many of you know, Social Security has a national phone number, which is difficult to get through. But I'll give you this number first. It's 1-800-772-1213. That's the national number. Now, they are open late after 5 o'clock. I believe it's till 7 o'clock they're open. So I've called them in the past. You may be on hold, or wait time could be very long to get a hold of them. So in case of that, there are 2 local phone numbers here in Rochester that you can try to contact the local Social Security office. And we have a local office downtown in Rochester, and we have a Social Security office in Greece. The phone number for the Rochester one is 866-964-2045. Let me give you that again. 866-964-2045. And you're contacting the local Rochester Social Security office, especially if you live in the city of Rochester. Now, if you live in the suburbs, we have a Greece office of Social Security on Ridge Road. And their phone number, I'll give you this number, is 866-331-2204. That's the Greece Social Security office. Again, I'll give it to you again, 866-331-2204. So that's how to contact them if you need to. My suggestion is to call them early in the morning when they open up at 9. There's less people on the phones at that time. And the second thing I want to give you is there's a couple of websites that you can use to contact Social Security. Okay. The first one, if you need to sign up for Medicare A and B, you can go to ssa.gov, and that's a site you can establish an account for setting up your Medicare A and B, and also you can use that site to apply for retirement benefits. So
Hey,
that's one site. Yep.
hey, Mike, is that, I know that SSA.gov, I got an email a while back saying that you have to sign up and set up an account. It gave me the feeling like at some point you won't be able to call. Is that true, do you think? Or will they always have
I
some
heard
kind?
this recently that
Yeah,
I heard that this is only a rumor.
yeah.
I'm going
There's
to
a lot
check
of
this.
those out there.
Yeah, I'm going to check. I heard that the phone numbers may go down on March 31st.
Yeah.
Again, I just heard that recently, and it's a rumor. I got to dig into that.
All right,
Okay.
cool. We'll trust you to get back to us on that at another time.
Yeah, definitely. Because I
Okay.
also heard in order to make an appointment, you have to make an appointment with Social Security. You have to call them. So we want to get this kind of straightened out of what's taking place. But the second website, if you're on Medicare now, you can go to mymedicare.gov, set up an account on that site, and it will show you what Medicare plan you're enrolled in. If you're enrolled in a Medicare supplement plan, it'll show your claims that are being processed. What's also nice about it, if you're not collecting Social Security, you can pay your premium on that site. You can pay your premium for Part B. And like most people, they want to use a credit card, right, and get points. Guess what? You can use a credit card on that mymedicare.gov site. It's nice to have it set up. Also, as Mike Robinson was talking about, you can appoint a representative to speak to Social Security on your behalf. I've identified somebody. You do that on the site, actually, but that's important in case you become incapacitated or become dementia or whatever it is, that someone else in your family can talk to Social Security on your behalf. And you can do that at mymedicare.gov. So there's
Yeah,
a couple.
that's good advice.
Yeah, there's a couple of ways to contact Social Security. We want to get to the bottom. I know things are changing with Social Security in regards to how to contact them. But if you're on Social Security right now and you're getting deposits for your retirement benefits, nothing has changed there. So we'll get back to you with what I hear when I hear what things are going to be changing too.
And that's, Mike, that's good information. I can tell you I've had much better success with the local numbers calling Social Security versus the national number, although I think you might owe a few cups of coffee to the workers at the local offices now.
Yeah, it's definitely, you're still gonna wait, but you're gonna wait less time than the national number to get
Exactly.
through.
I see Pam answering the phone. Do we have a caller, Pam? No,
We got one coming up.
I think she's typing.
Yeah. So, all right. Adam from Farmington has a comment on Social Security. Adam, thanks for calling.
Yeah, hey, how's it going? Just wanted to let you know, I heard one of the conventions with Elon Musk, and he was saying that about 50% of the calls to Social Security are fraudulent. So that might be why those numbers are going to be disconnected here in the future.
Wow.
Well, that'd be interesting to see
Another
how
rumor.
true that is.
Yeah.
But thanks for that information.
And thanks for listening.
Yeah, part of the rumor mill. Yeah, hey.
Got it.
Are you a regular listener, Adam? I think he's gone.
I think Adam is gone.
All right, back to you, Mike King.
Well, so let me talk about something else that's important, speaking about fraud or things close to that. There are different types of people who represent Medicare plans. Myself, we are technically brokers. We're independent, and we represent, and we're local. We know the local market. What's happening now, there's also, we call them call centers. There are people who make unsolicited calls to you to try to change your Medicare plan. They're usually not local. They're usually from out of state. And we call them call centers because they're backed up by venture capitalists. And it's really become a problem in the industry when someone calls you to talk about your Medicare plans. And by the way, they're making unsolicited calls. That is against regulations by Medicare regulations. That's
Yeah, it's
against that's
illegal.
against
Correct.
and they're not allowed. We are not allowed to call people just unsolicited unless we get them permission. But they do this over and over again, and it's really becoming a problem. So we're going to suggest that if someone calls you and it's about your Medicare plan, unless you're local, unless you know them, I would not give them any information. Your date of birth, your social security number, even your zip code. That's the first thing they're asked for, because they want
Never,
to see
never.
what plans. And by the way, these call centers don't represent all the plans. They only represent the national plans. And a
Ah,
lot of times they don't check your prescription drugs, and they don't check to see if your doctor's in the network.
no,
So
don't do it.
it's really an issue. Don't call. Don't respond to them. Ask them to put you on a do not call list, which is required by law, and contact a local agent. You can call our office. We represent all the plans. We know what works, what doesn't work based on your personal situation. You can call us at 224-8138. So that's really important not to respond to an unsolicited call.
Yeah, and I'll take it a step further, Mike King, and say don't even answer the phone if you don't know who it is. We talk about spams or scams all the time. It's getting worse every day. They're coming through
Yep.
emails, texts, So best thing to do is if you don't know the number, don't call or don't pick it up. That's what I say. But Mike King, wonderful information. Thank you so much for giving us all those details and places to go because it is confusing. All right.
All right, and we'll be back after the news with Dr. Laura Petrescu here on Seniors Rock Radio.
Please don't dominate the rap track if you got nothing new to say. If you please don't back up the track, this train's got to run today. I spent a little time on the
And we're back. You're listening to Seniors Rock Radio, and I'm happy to have you joining us. And also joining us now is Dr. Laura Petrescu. She is the founder of Athena Direct Primary Care and Lifestyle Medicine. And Dr. Petrescu shares her passion every week for healthy living with her patients, like me, and with all of us on Seniors Rock Radio. So we're always happy to have her here. It's great to see you, Dr. Laura Petrescu. Welcome.
Hi, Joanna. Thank you for inviting me back on the show.
Anytime. And I understand today you've got something I think everybody should be interested in, and that's longevity and health span. So I was kind of giggling because you sent me an email and you said you're going to give us some tips for adding years to your life and life to your years. Awesome. Tell us.
That's right. I know we talked before on the show about healthy lifestyle and healthy nutrition and sleep and exercise and all ways to stay healthy. But how do we know what we're doing is actually working and adding health to our years? It's very important to track what we're doing to make sure we are successful, and we can very easily say what our chronological age, but what is our biological age, right? What is the remaining of our lifespan, and how do we know the lifestyle changes we're working so hard on are actually working? So I think it's very important today. I would like to focus on tracking biometrics and biomarkers of longevity. And I know there is wonderful research done currently ongoing in humans and animal models on health span and lifespan, particularly looking at telomere length and DNA methylation patterns. Very interesting research, which is a little out of reach for day-to-day testing.
Doctor, I'm going to ask you to repeat that because that was I couldn't really understand what you said there. If I didn't, then I'm sure the listeners didn't. So could you just say that last part again?
Right. The research level testing that is currently done is DNA methylation patterns and telomere length, right?
Oh.
This is not something we can usually do in a lab, but there are other proxy labs and biometrics that we can actually test and know if our lifestyle changes are successful. Things like the VO2 max and heart rate variability. These are important and easy to do, relatively easy to track and measure, to know about our cardiovascular endurance and our ability to use oxygen to produce energy at the cellular level, which are very strong predictors for longevity. A very easy, simple blood test to absolutely track is high sensitivity CRP and interleukin 6. These are important biomarkers that tells us about inflammaging. I know we talked before in the show about inflammation and how important that is for staying healthy, but inflammaging is inflammation that causes cellular aging. So by taking these simple biometrics and biomarkers, we can actually know if our lifestyle changes are working, and maybe in the future we can predict more precisely the remaining of the lifespan. I know that can sound a little out of science fiction show, but there is research, very important research done, like I said, on DNA methylation patterns that can help us in the future. So yes, important to know that lifestyle changes and some supplements and some medications that can help and modulate inflammation can improve lifespan and health span. Things like I'm pretty sure our listeners have heard about omega-3 fatty acids and CoQ10 and turmeric spice and quercetin. Very simple supplements that actually have shown to modulate inflammation, modulate cellular energy, and help with longevity. Other very interesting supplements and medications that are currently under review and research, like NAD or rapamycin, an mTOR inhibitor, medications like metformin that we use quite often in people with diabetes that show very interesting promise in modulating cellular energy and mitochondrial function, which in some animal studies have shown to improve lifespan for mice, for example. I know studies for humans are not so easy to obtain or do to prove longevity because, yes, well, humans have a much longer lifespan, but we use animal models and basic lab research on cellular level to see whether or not these molecules, these anti-inflammatory molecules, actually can help expand life and health for animals and humans. So very, very interesting things to look at. And, I invite our listeners, yes, to always focus on the basics of longevity. We have to have our basics covered: healthy nutrition, exercise, and sleep. These are three pillars that we always have to address. But other anti-inflammatory molecules that we find in additional supplements or even medications may help us live a little longer, and it's very interesting to read and maybe give it a try.
Very interesting. And all of these things, you really have to have I think, a mindset about longevity, doctor, is from what I'm hearing. And I think really important just to have a relationship with your primary care provider. I think when I'm listening to you, I'm thinking about you talking to me in our meetings, and we're not limited to 5 minutes with direct primary care. That's really delightful. We get to talk about lifestyle. So thank you for that. And are there any like basic tips? Like, I know you also give us a tip about longevity, like a food related thing.
So food, anti-inflammatory. You always will win that if you think about anti-inflammatory diet, meaning, and the strongest, the most powerful anti-inflammatory foods that we have are berries, blueberries, particularly, but all berries, different color, fruits and vegetables, they come with powerful antioxidants. And cruciferous vegetables. There are two food groups that are extremely beneficial for longevity, right, because of their anti-inflammatory properties.
Yeah.
Along with, yes, lots of legumes and lentils, beans, sweet peas. Legumes are extremely beneficial through their lean protein and fiber. Fiber is another one, and I know you covered that before. Fiber is extremely beneficial for the microbiome. That if we feed our microbiome healthy fiber, prebiotics, the microbiome, that good bacteria in our gut will feed us back by creating short-chain fatty acids like butyrate, which is extremely important for longevity. So butyrate, we can get that from food, but we also can get the vast majority of that comes from a healthy microbiome in our gut by eating and digesting and processing fiber and prebiotics. So yes, absolutely, food, all anti-inflammatory power we can get into our food, plus stress and exercise and sleep, right? Sleep is actually when we sleep, that's when we heal, recover, and recharge. And during sleep, there is a very powerful senolytic event that happens, right? The immune system, the macrophages go around to find cells that are aging, that show signs of damage, of DNA damage, and signs of aging.
Wow.
And the immune system will clear those. It's extremely important for us to make sure 7 to 8 hours of sleep, good quality sleep.
Sorry, Doctor, we're going to have to jump in here. Yep. And folks, you can reach Doctor at AthenaDirectCare.com or 662-5510. And we're going to be right back here on Seniors Rock Radio. I'm sorry, we're going to have to go, but there's a news break. We'll be right back. Well, hi, it's Joanna, and you are listening to Seniors Rock Radio, and we're entering into the last part of the show here. And I asked Pam to call our friend Peter Gordon on the break there because I have a question for him. And I know April, we're into April now, and a thorough duct cleaning and sanitizing by indoor air professionals is a healthy thing to do for your home improvement while you're thinking about all the things you do in the spring. Peter, are you there? I have a question for you.
Yeah, sure. Go right ahead, Joanna.
Well, I didn't plan on having you on today, but I heard earlier today on this radio station, on another program that I won't mention, that you gave some big discounts. And so I'm calling you to find out if we can do that for our listeners today, too.
Absolutely. Yeah.
All right.
It's only fair, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. So give it to us. What are you going to do? I heard, for example, the indoor, those air purifiers, I think is a great time of year. It's raining, it's stuffy, all those things. Tell us about those.
Yeah. Okay. So your intro song, the rain song. Okay, I believe that was the Beatles, but could be wrong. But anyway,
no, you're right.
Yeah. So the April Air high capacity dehumidifier, 5 times the power of a standard dehumidifier, uses a third less energy. That you can save $300 off. Okay. And then, as you alluded to, the medical grade air purifier by Healthway, that's 40 times more efficient than HEPA filters, is $375 off on the portable, $500 off on the whole house unit that hooks up to your furnace and AC system.
Well, those
and
are
then
good
there's
discounts.
one more. Yeah.
Oh,
and then lastly, for the duct cleaning, once again, you need a thorough duct cleaning and sanitizing, and that would be 15% off.
Nice. Well, that goes
Very
right along
good.
with the spring cleaning as far as I'm concerned. Great stuff. We have already had our ducts cleaned, but I got my eye on one of those air purifiers. So I think that discount's awesome.
Awesome.
Thank you, Peter. And are you going to be
You're
there if
welcome.
they want to call now?
Absolutely. Yeah, yeah. So anyone can call. You know the number, right?
I do. It's 585-427-8020, extension 303. Now, call him now and make him give us the discount too, just like that other show. It's
All right.
585-427-8020, extension 303, and you'll talk to Peter in live and in person. Thanks, Peter. Have a great rest of your weekend.
Thank you so much. You guys have a great weekend. Thank you.
Talk to you soon.
Thanks, Peter.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye. And again, lots of things going on this hour, and I've enjoyed it very much. And today, I'm excited. I am going out to see Anything Goes, and that's that Cole Porter musical, and it's at OFC Creations, and that's in the Winton Place. And I'm excited about that. So, what have you got going on, Mike?
Well, I'm taking our bicycles into the shop for their annual tune-up. I was going to do that last weekend, but didn't get to it. So
Hmm.
it's a little too wet to ride anyway. So get them into the shop, and
Yeah.
that'll be good. But it does look like the rain's easing up. You know, the Red Wings are in town this weekend.
Mhm.
I think first pitch today is 1:05. Rough start to the season. They're 2-4, and they've lost three straight to Lehigh Valley. But let's hope they turn that around this afternoon. And it does look like they're going to get the game in.
And I guess baseball and spring, they just go together, right?
They do indeed. They do
Just like
indeed.
football and fall.
Yeah, exactly. But I can remember, as a kid, you'd get all excited and little league practice would be starting and it would be still so cold that when you hit the ball, your hands would reverberate on the bat and it was not a pleasant feeling.
Ouch. Yeah, that is not a pleasant feeling. That's right up there with landing on a trampoline with your nose at first. I remember doing that. I'm like, why do kids like this? This is not very fun. I get injured easily.
There
And
you
Dr.
go.
Petrescu is talking about inflammation. I mean, I woke up today and all of a sudden my knee is hurting. So interesting. I'm gonna have to eat some more berries. And yeah, it Pam, you got anything fun going on?
I think we might go out to dinner tonight. And to be honest, it's a good weekend for some spring cleaning. It's not the nicest outside, so good time
Yeah.
just to get some things done around the house. I'm going to take advantage of that.
Yes, yes, it's always good. And we talked earlier too about purging and that stuff. I've been doing that. I wake up at night sometimes thinking about things that I should probably get rid of. And I'm not a hoarder by any stretch. I have, I purge all the time every season. I get rid of clothes and bring them to the, volunteers or wherever I'm going to take them to the church place. But um it's still I still have stuff and it just keeps growing. So it does give you a really good feeling though when you figure it out. And I've started to let go of some of the photographs, but I'm really concerned. I mean, think about Pam, your age group. There are so many online photographs, and I'm sitting here with boxes of actual photographs that you can hold. And I'm thinking, yay, what are we going to do with all these pictures? And why are we taking pictures of everything in our life? It's crazy. And you don't have children yet, but when that happens, it really goes crazy,
Right.
right?
I'm in the
And
opposite boat. I feel like I need to start getting actual photo books, like actual photos printed, because
See,
everything I
it's going to
have is
come
online. So I
back.
have
I love
nothing
it.
physical. So I'm kind of on the opposite side of you,
Thank you
opposite
for
spectrum.
saying that because the old family album, I mean, what could be better? You just open the thing and go through it. I mean, going online is it's just monotonous to me. It's just too much. I can't even get in there to delete them all. I'm sure I'm not the only one that's having angst about that. And I don't even know why it came up, but it did. So thanks for listening.
Yeah, no, boxes of photos are a big deal. Because what happens is so often those photos may have been meaningful for the person or the couple that took them because it, memorializes moments that they shared together,
Hmm.
but may not have any kind of significance for the rest of the family.
Right.
And yet the rest of the family is stuck with going through them and you were, Joanna, talking about the emotional attachment. People are afraid to throw things out because,
Hmm.
well, it was special to mom or dad, but
Yeah.
but they're not here anymore, and it's not special
Right.
to anyone else.
Right. It's yeah, it the emotional attachments to photographs is really interesting because as you said, I grew up listening to stories. We were immigrants, so I listened to stories about Scotland and people that my relatives knew and we had a lot of relatives in Canada. It was kind of when you think about a small group, but compared to today with a lot of fragmented families, we've got a lot of second marriages and extra grandparents and all kinds of, and I say it's just more love, but at the same time, it also adds to the confusion of, the ancestry, I guess, if you will.
Sure. And we certainly do have photos of grandparents, great grandparents, even great great grandparents, and that sort of thing. Um, but it's always helpful if somebody wrote on the back of the photo who it is.
Yes, yes, totally. And I'm in agreement with that. And again, that sounds to me more like an album than I just don't know how we're going to share all these things. Okay, I'm going to stop. There was a woman that lived here that moved to Florida that used to she came over here and she had a scanner and she was all organized about all those things. I feel lost without her.
Well,
But
can you contact her?
I don't know. I need to do it myself. I just need to do it. So I'm going to. And uh, I was thinking about next week. I wanted to mention, I'm really excited. I mentioned Melissa from AAA,
Right.
and she's got some great information. She's going to join us next week in person, Melissa Peterson, and she's the group travel operations manager for AAA New York. And she has got some fascinating tales. And she also will talk to us about, I think, what is a really unique club. It's the AAA Solo Travelers Club, and it's really cool. It's a small amount. You join the club, and then there's all kinds of excursions, local and longer, and you can go by yourself with like-minded travelers and meet people and just have some fun. So I think that's really cool. I'm looking forward to hearing more about that. Also, Agape Physical Therapy will be with us next week. Always great information from them. And so that's what's coming up. And how about for you, Mike? What's up?
So, well, I just wanted to mention, you mentioned the AAA Solo Travelers program. I have had clients go on some of those trips,
Oh,
and they had nothing but good things to say. So, it's
great
if
idea.
you don't have a traveling partner, but don't feel like truly traveling solo, that's a great option, and look forward to hearing more about that.
Yeah, absolutely. Tune in next week, Saturday, live at 11. That's what I
There
said.
you go. There you go. But no, I'm going to actually, I am going to get outside today. It's not, I'm a firm believer that there's no such thing as bad weather, just the wrong clothing. So,
That's right. My dad used to say, "You're not going to melt," right?
uh,
I,
although I had a friend accuse me of possibly melting earlier today, um,
what?
but I will, yes, but, but we're not going to melt.
Okay, I feel better now.
Yeah.
And all right, so let's see. We got plays going on. We've got rain happening, but we also have flowers blooming. And I see all the buds on the trees outside. I'm excited about that. I'm going to order some more little birdhouses for the little chickadees that like to come in the tree by my patio. And I'm excited about spring personally.
Yeah, well, I've just noticed this week the daffodils are blooming. We've
Yep.
got buds on our lilacs and some of the other bushes and such. So, yeah, it's fun.
Yeah. Well, you want to say anything else before you go?
Hey, thanks for listening, folks. Have a great weekend and a great week. As always, be well and be kind.
So happy you were here with us. I hope you enjoyed the show. Tell your friends, come back again next week. Please support our sponsors, and you can find them all at seniorsrockradio.com. We will be back next week, God willing, and we will be here for you. So remember, seniors rock.